Hey guys, it's the Captain here, and today we're just going to have a real quick 5-minute kind of review of a new product that I've just seen come out called the Gibson memory cable. Now this is due to arrive in the UK in the summer of 2014. I believe it's been out in the States for a little bit longer. But it is essentially a premium quality guitar cable with a studio quality recorder and preamp kind of built in. For those of you that follow Gibson in the news, you'll know that Gibson own several very well-known sort of high-tech companies, Tascam being one of them. So this is a collaboration really between Tascam and Gibson. So this box here is a little tatty, but that's because it's been around the houses a few times. It's the only cable in the UK at the moment, so it's been to a few different places for review. So let's have a little look. So first impressions are, it is a chunky cable. Yeah, the actual cable element of it is very much akin to sort of, you know, what you would expect to get if you were going to buy, you know, like a real premium end cable. I'm struggling here to undo this, excuse me. And as you can see, the big bit here is kind of where the clever stuff happens. The actual recorder's built in. So the concept really with this is that I would just jam around, use this guitar cable instead of a regular one, and then if I'm inspired with a little bit of brilliance and I play a riff and I think, oh that's cool, I haven't played that before, I don't want to forget that, I can just press a button on the memory cable and basically it'll record it. So let's just jump to a section where I have this plugged in. So as you can see, I have a Les Paul plugged into a pedal board on the floor, which you can't see at the moment, plugged into a Fender amp, and that's it. You're just hearing this, by the way, on the camera audio. We're not bothering miking up the cab or anything like that. I have a battery which I need to put in the cable, which is just here, comes with it, and there is a essentially this is going to record onto a micro SD card which is inside this bit here, and then what I do get is an adapter that's free with it again to convert that to like a regular SD card. So any kind of a laptop or a device with an SD card input will be able to read it. So let's just plug this in first. Okay, so I've got my guitar plugged in here. I've put the battery in, we've got the SD card in, and first of all we're just going to talk about the two modes on here. So there's what's called auto and continuous mode. Now continuous mode is the sort of the less intelligent of the two modes. Continuous mode essentially means I hold the button, the on-off button down to turn the machine on or turn the cable on, and you'll see I've got a little blue light down here now, and then I literally press the button again to start recording, and we'll and until I literally press the stop button, it will carry on recording. So I'm going to press the stop button now. It does have, what's nice is quite a cool tag function here, which means at any time during continuous recording I can press and hold the tag file, and that will mark on the, you know, within the recording if you like, a section that I particularly liked, and then start another section, so it's sort of easy to find. The auto mode is a little bit more intelligent, so if I pop across to auto, now what happens is the cable, without me doing anything, you can see has a red flashing light. So it's now saying I am ready to record, and as soon as I start playing it will begin to record. So in fact what I want to do is, I'm just going to go back to continuous for a second because I want to detune my guitar. Okay, so we'll pop it back into auto, and I'm going to play a little riff that I was messing around with the other day that I don't want to forget, and that's kind of the whole point with this cable here, is it's I don't forget it, so I can just record it. Now I don't do anything, that's it, I just stop playing, and within a few seconds you'll see the red light flashing again, and essentially now, because I'm in auto mode, it knows that I've finished my recording piece. So I'm going to switch this device off now. That's pretty much as simple as it can be. Now when I first heard about memory cable I got all excited and I thought that's awesome, because the reamping possibilities by just saying right, let's just play this back, change my pedal settings, whatever, were going to be super, super cool. Except that what I hadn't realised until I kind of read the small print on the blurb is the cable itself has no playback function. So the cable is just a capture device. So what I have to do if I want to play back is I have to take the micro SD card out, and that's essentially where the sort of adapter comes into play. And I need to go and find a device now that has playback. Now, you know, some mobile phones have playback, for example. What we're using today is a little Roland sort of portable capture device to do playback. Of course, pretty much all, you know, laptops and stuff like that are all going to have SD card inputs, and you'll be able to play back through there. So anyway, let's just get this rigged up and show you how this might work. Okay, so we've popped the SD card into a little handheld recording device here. As I said, we use this quite a lot for our videos. You could have plugged this into a laptop or any other device with a micro SD card in there that'll read WAV files. As I said, I think some mobile phones can even do this. So what I've done now is I've adjusted the output level of this to be the same volume as my guitar would be. Really easy to do. I just play the file into an amplifier, compare it to how loud my guitar is without, you know, just on its own, and then I adjust the output on here till I get the same level. I'm still going through my pedal board, so essentially if I just press play, I've got several files on here now that we recorded on that, but I'm just going to use that last one. So if I press play on here, you'll start hearing it come through the amp. So now, of course, what you then can do, of course, is what's called reamping. So you might want to say, well, what does that sound like through a different amplifier or with different settings on here? Or perhaps with some of my pedals plugged in. So if I now press play and start stomping on some pedals, you will see what happens. So I guess the kind of cool thing there is, you know, that's the concept to a guitar player of the memory cable. It's designed to just be plugged in all the time. I did actually test the cable works just fine whether you have the SD card in it or not. And you know, if you're ever inspired and you think that's a great little riff, I like that, you can just quickly press a button and all of a sudden it's recording it. Now, I guess some of you might be saying, yeah, well, I can do that with my mobile phone. I can just, you know, iPhone, just video what I'm playing and then I won't forget it. And that's fair enough, I guess. The key difference I think with the memory cable is that actually I've recorded that guitar part at, you know, 44.1 kilohertz 16-bit WAV file, so that's, you know, super high quality. And if I did want, you know, if I actually captured something that I actually wanted to reuse in a proper recording, I could do. And of course all the reamping that I can then do with that file. So I think it's kind of cool. The cable's not terribly expensive. I mean, it's about 70 or 80 pounds in the UK. I think it's about $100 in the USA. And you know, I suppose if you think that you might spend 30-40 pounds on a really decent cable anyway, it's not a huge premium to pay for the recording device built in. Some people are going to look at it and think, oh, I don't know if I like the you know, the heavier, the sort of the way it's positioned. Not sure if I can use it. I don't think it's quite long enough to wrap around the strap, so that might be nicer if Gibson were to do a revision of this later, is perhaps just make it a teeny bit longer between the recording bit and the jack cable. But other than that, I kind of think it's a nifty idea. There's nothing else really like it on the market, and I kind of like it. So there we go. I will put a link to the Andertons website about where you can buy the memory cable. Let me just quickly also say that, because there's lots of other applications for this, if you have a band and you just want to do a real simple mono mix recording of your band, you could plug the cable into one of the auxiliary outputs on your mixer and just, you know, blend a little live mix into the cable if you wanted to. It's just kind of cool. Oh, I see, that was the other question I wanted to say. The 4 GB micro SD card that comes with it will give you up to 13 hours of recording time before you actually have to start deleting files or transferring the files off of your, you know, off the cart. So, yeah, it's kind of cool. Works with any instrument. You could use it with keyboards. You could use it with bass. You could use it with guitar. Whatever you want to do. Electric drums. Whatever you want to do. That's it. Really comes with everything you need to get going. I think that's enough. I've been the captain. Let's just listen to that little riff one more time because it's kind of funky. Don't go copying it or anything like that because it's on camera.